week we'll get an official prediction from you on Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor with like the round and the method of victory and all that stuff. But we're 12 days out from this fight, and Conor McGregor's the betting favorite. It seems like every pro fighter that goes on record is picking Nate Diaz. Dozen days out, which way are you leaning, Nate Diaz or Conor McGregor?
I gotta, I have to lean towards Nate. I mean, I think I know what direction they're gonna go. I mean, this would be my guess because Conor was getting to him. It wasn't like Nate wasn't getting hit. The problem is Nate can absorb a lot of punishment. He's going to keep going. And I just think it's a case of a good little man will never beat a good big man. I really think that's it. I don't think he's got the power at that weight to really hurt him. And I think he's going to try to mix up the kicks more and probably look to, like, outpoint him. I think that's the only way to go because he's not going to beat him on the floor, and I think he's just going to, the same thing's going to happen. It might be 2 rounds later, but I think Nate's just too, he throws a lot of volume, and he's going to get you into that fight that's going to be in his advantage. And I think, Conor is a proud guy who loves to fight. And that's hard for those guys, not, to stay technical and really, do the right thing because you want to throw down. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like a macho thing. So I think Nate, with a full training camp, and I don't even think that's going to be the difference, but I think it's, I just think he's the bigger, better guy at this point.
Ray, mentally heading into this fight, for me, I feel like Nate has nothing to lose because if he loses, can you imagine them having a trilogy here?
Well, this is the problem, though, Kenny. That's the only thing.
There's more money in it for him if he loses.
I hope that has no effect on anything, but come on, man. That's the issue, man. If Nate loses monetarily, that's the best thing that could happen to both of them. Right. That's the only issue I have. If you're telling me that there's no money involved and they're going to fight in 12 days, I'm picking Nate Diaz. But I tell you, man, you're not even talking about money. You're talking about, for these guys, an obscene amount of money. Yeah. And that part of it scares me a little bit, I got to tell you.
But does Conor need Nate, to do twice the buys that he can do if he fights, Eddie Alvarez?
Does Conor need Nate as opposed to Eddie
I'm saying
Alvarez?
What Conor wants to make this rematch very decisive and then seemingly move on with his career at 45 and then ultimately 55. So my question to you is, what if Conor doesn't want to grant the trilogy fight? He wants to go fight Eddie Alvarez for the UFC lightweight title.
No, I don't say it. Let me tell you something. He'll grant that trilogy because that trilogy will be worth a lot of it. Depending on how the fight goes, he's never going to do anywhere near what Eddie Alvarez what he'll do with Nate Diaz. I don't think so anyway. So I think he goes for the trilogy, and I think Conor's definitely a stand-up guy too. He's going to give that guy a rematch just like Nate's giving him a rematch. You know what I mean? So I don't see Conor doing that. Look, one thing about Conor, man, I think he'll fight anybody, any place, anytime, and that's what you have to love about the guy. And he's always backed up what he said he's going to do. And even in this loss, he took it like a man. He took it on the chin, and you have to respect him. And I think he really, wants to right that wrong that happened. I mean, with the, get a win over that. And that's it, man. I think he's just he's a fighter, man. He's not gonna call out a guy that hasn't fought in 2 years. He's not gonna call out, another. He's doing the right thing. I think that's what Dana loves about him, and I think that's what everybody loves about him, is that he could back up the talk, and he's willing to even go back in there with a guy that, under any circumstance, is not a safe fight for him. If Conor was a D1 wrestler, just a shitty fight for Nate, because that's his Achilles heel. He'll get taken down, and if they can stand off the jiu-jitsu attacks and all, but he's not. So he's forced to. Conor's Nate's beating him at what he's really prides himself for being good at. You know, to force Conor McGregor to try to take you down, that's pretty cool, man. So it's an interesting fight. People are going to tune into this fight. I think he goes for that trilogy in a heartbeat because the money will be phenomenal.
Right, and if Conor wins the second fight and then does the trilogy fight with Nate Diaz and they fight 3 times here in 2016, then he's not really delaying the championship legacy for whatever that would be for more than a year, right? I mean, he just won the belt in December, unified the titles.
Yeah, that part is tricky.
Because that's my only concern, right? Is that
that part gets a little tricky, but he'll have to vacate something. And they're fighting at 170, right?
Right. But you know, the point is they could do, you know, Aldo Holloway or something like that. And, you know, even, you know, the point is that it would, for a lot of fighters to go do a trilogy outside their weight class, it would be 2 years of their career. For Conor, he could do that all inside of 12 months and it wouldn't be this massive delay. You know, I think a lot of us don't want to see the division held